They're calling it the most undesirable Ferrari ever made. A car so controversial that the moment it was revealed, Ferrari's own stock crashed almost 15% in a single day.
Ferrari shares slumping this morning, the market reacting with disappointment after the Italian manufacturer unveiled its first fully electric car.
Their worst trading day since the company went public back in 2016. Fans are roasting it online. Collectors are saying it does irreparable damage to one of the most legendary names in automotive history. But here is the twist nobody saw coming. The people who actually saw it in person, who sat in it, who even drove it, came away saying something completely different. So what is really going on with this car? Today on Nick's Car Review, we are breaking down the brand new Ferrari Luce, Ferrari's first ever electric car and the firestorm surrounding it. Let's get into it. Let's set the stage first, because the backstory here is almost as wild as the car itself. For over a decade, Ferrari swore publicly and repeatedly that they would never build an electric car. Former Ferrari chairman Luca di Montezemolo famously said they would never make an EV as long as he was chairman. He even said he would not drive an electric Ferrari, and I am quoting him directly, "Not even if I were drugged." That is how strongly Ferrari leadership felt that a silent, zero-emission car went against everything the brand stood for. And yet, here we are in 2026. Ferrari just revealed the Luce in Rome, their first ever fully electric production vehicle. Never say never, right? Now here is where it gets dramatic.
But when you think about, Tom, the legacy that Ferrari has, this is a very much a fully electric vehicle that is very un-Ferrari-like.
The reveal did not go the way Ferrari hoped. The moment the Luce was unveiled, Ferrari stock plunged almost 15% on both the Milan and New York exchanges, the worst trading day in the company's history as a public company. A brand new flagship from one of the most desirable car companies on the planet, and investors wiped out billions in value almost instantly. The reaction online was even more brutal. Car fans, collectors, and lifelong Ferrari enthusiasts tore into it. One viral post said Ferrari had done irreparable damage to the brand, claiming there will never be posters, phone, wallpapers, or murals of this car the way there have been for every great Ferrari before it. People could not even agree on what the Luce actually is. A sports sedan, a crossover, a hatchback, or something in between that simply refuses to be labeled. The memes flew faster than the car's claimed 0 to 60 time. So why all the hate? It comes down to three things: the radical way it looks, the unconventional interior, and the simple fact that it is a Ferrari that runs on batteries instead of a screaming engine. But here is the part that makes this story so fascinating. The reviewers who got hands-on access before the public, the ones who walked around it, sat in it, and even drove it on a track, came away genuinely impressed. One reviewer flat out called the backseat the best of any Ferrari ever made, and possibly the best of any 5-seat EV ever. Another said the interior quality left him marveling. The same car the internet is roasting from photos is winning over the people experiencing it in person. So which is it? Is the Luce a disaster, or is everyone judging it too soon? Let's break down exactly what Ferrari built, the design, the wild interior, and the serious engineering underneath, and you can decide for yourself. Let's talk about the design, because this is where most of the controversy lives. And to understand why the Luce looks the way it does, you have to understand the impossible challenge Ferrari was trying to solve. Think about it. A traditional Ferrari is a two-door sports car, low, lightweight, an aerodynamic monster with a screaming engine. Now think about a typical electric car. Smooth, slippery, often a featureless blob designed to slice through the air with the lowest possible drag to maximize range. Those two things sit at completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Ferrari had to find a way to combine them. And that is why they brought in Lovefrom, the design company founded by legendary former Apple designer Jony Ive, to help shape this car. That collaboration is exactly why the Luce looks nothing like any Ferrari that came before it. So let me walk you around it. Starting at the front, you have the daytime running lights up top, with the actual headlights hidden underneath behind smooth glass. And lower still is active aerodynamic skills that open and close depending on whether the car needs more cooling or less drag, similar to what the latest 911 does. But the wildest feature up front is this massive air gap underneath the front splitter. It is so big, you could practically fit your whole arm underneath it. Air flows right into the front, up through a channel, and over the top of a seamless canopy windshield that gives the car downforce at higher speed. This makes the Luce the most aerodynamic road car Ferrari has ever built. That smooth canopy creates an interesting problem though. There is no place to hide the windshield wipers. Normally, wipers tuck into a little depression at the base of the windshield. Without that, they would create a huge drag issue. So instead, Ferrari mounted the windshield wipers on the outer edges of the windshield, 2 tall wipers resting on the left and right sides. That is genuinely something I have never seen before on a production car. Then there are the wheels, which are enormous. We're talking 23-inch wheels at the front and 24-inch wheels at the back, with one version featuring fully covered turbine-style wheel covers. Those massive wheels give the Luce those futuristic proportions, where the wheels take up a huge portion of the car's height. There is ventilation throughout for the wheel arches, and the badge on the side is a real machined metal piece, not painted on. At the rear is where you finally find some classic Ferrari DNA, those iconic circular taillights that Ferrari fans instantly recognize. There's a large ventilation section that smooths out the design, plus a subtle floating wing element that lets air pass through for aerodynamics. And I will tell you, from behind you instantly know it is a Ferrari. The laser-etched badge, the circular taillights, the Ferrari name sitting right where it always does. Now here is the design detail that surprised me the most. The Luce has coach doors, also called suicide doors. The front doors open normally, but the rear doors open backwards to let you into the back seat. And yes, the Luce has 5 seats with 3 in the back, which is a Ferrari first. It also has a 21 cubic foot trunk, the largest ever in a Ferrari. So while the styling is polarizing, every unusual choice here serves a real purpose: aerodynamics, efficiency, and practicality. A Ferrari executive even admitted the company is fully prepared for hardcore gearheads and collectors to hate it. They knew exactly what they were doing. Now let's get inside, because the interior of the Luce is honestly my favorite part of this entire car. And it is the part I think people are going to come around on once they experience it. When Ferrari first teased this cabin a few months ago, it caused a stir. Some people said it looked too sterile, too Apple-like. And I understand why the interior was designed in collaboration with Jony Ive, the design legend behind the iPhone. But sitting in it, I think it comes off as a refreshing blend of analog and digital that I genuinely hope other automakers pay attention to. Here is what makes it special. In most modern cars, think of a Tesla. You get one giant screen that controls just about everything, with maybe a couple of buttons. The Luce is the complete opposite of that. Yes, there is a central touchscreen, but everywhere you look, there are real, physical, tactile controls. Metal, leather, and glass surfaces throughout. Everything you touch in this car is either machined aluminum, glass, or leather. It feels like a deliberate rejection of the screen everything trend, and it works. Let's start with the steering wheel, which is made from a single piece of machined aluminum. On it, you have these beautifully tactile controls, driver assistance features on the left, a knob for drive modes, wiper controls on the right. And behind the wheel are 2 paddles. The left one controls your regenerative braking. The right one actually dials up the torque output of the motors as you drive. I am genuinely curious to feel how that works on the road. The startup sequence is a moment in itself. The key is a rectangular Ferrari key, and you place it onto a magnetized spot on the dash. A display with a light behind it goes dark as you set the key in place. Then you push it in, and it kicks off an initiating startup sequence across the displays that welcomes you into the car. It is theatrical in the best way. Then there are the vents, which might be my favorite detail. They rotate open and close when you turn a bezel, and you can point them in any direction. You can very clearly see when a vent is open, half open, or closed. It is such a simple, intuitive, satisfying piece of design. The gear selector is a glass switch. You slide over and down into drive, incredibly satisfying. The climate controls use real, clicky, physical toggles. There is a built-in analog compass that can switch to an analog clock in the production car. and you can even tilt the whole central screen toward you or push it away. The canopy roof above your head is electrochromic, so it can tint dark or go clear at the touch of a button. There are speakers all over the cabin with a unified circular and pill-shaped look, ambient lighting throughout with adjustable brightness, and the seats are not just comfortable, they are genuinely supportive, which matters because this thing is meant to be driven hard. But the real showstopper is the back seat. And I cannot believe I am saying this about a Ferrari. But the Luce has 3 seats in the back with a genuinely usable amount of legroom. Ferrari pushed the rear seats back and the front seats forward to open up real space for passengers. At 6'3", sitting behind a 6'3" driving position, there is a ton of room. And the glass roof does not eat into the headroom. There is even a second display for rear passengers and an armrest with metal cup holders. This is, without question, the best backseat experience of any Ferrari ever made. It might be one of the best of any 5-seat EV, period. Okay, so the design is polarizing and the interior is a love it or hate it situation. But what about the actual engineering? Because this is where the people roasting the Luce from photos are missing the real story. Underneath all the controversy, Ferrari did not half-step this thing. Like a lot of high-performance EVs, the Luce goes the quad motor route, 4 independent electric motors, one effectively managing each corner of the car for precise control. Those permanent magnet motors put out a combined 1,035 horsepower and 730 pound-feet of torque. That rockets this 5-seat family-sized car to 62 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. Each front motor can spin up to 30,000 RPM, and the front axle has a mechanical disconnect for better cruising efficiency. At the core is a 122 kilowatt-hour structural battery pack, designed and built in-house by Ferrari. It runs at 800 volts and charges at 350 kilowatts. And here is a genuinely forward-thinking detail. Ferrari says Luce buyers will be able to swap in future Ferrari battery modules as their car ages and as new battery technology comes online. That is a clever way to keep a $600,000 car from becoming obsolete. Now, range. This is where I have to be honest with you, because it is the one area where the Luce does not lead the pack. Ferrari estimates around 530 kilometers on the European testing cycle, which translates to somewhere in the range of 250 to 300 miles under stricter EPA-style testing. And look for a car at this price point that is a little underwhelming. There are luxury EVs selling for a tenth of the Luce's price, hitting 400 kilowatt charging speeds and over 400 miles of range. Mercedes' own super sedan, the AMG GT, has over 1,000 horsepower, 600 kilowatt charging, and substantially more range than the Luce. But here's Ferrari's explanation, and honestly, it makes sense once you hear it. Their entire focus was on making the driving experience as good as humanly possible, not chasing a range number. The Luce features active suspension derived from the F80 supercar, rear-wheel steering, torque vectoring front and rear, and a system that constantly adjusts all of those variables in real time to make the car perform perfectly for any given situation. Ferrari claims the overall combination of comfort and performance simply would not be possible in a combustion car. And there is a system using accelerometers on the rear axle that captures and amplifies the powertrain vibrations to create a sports car roar, because a silent Ferrari was never going to fly. You also select power levels through the steering controls to create that sensation of continuous acceleration, almost like shifting gears, except Ferrari calls them power levels instead. So let's bring it all together. The Ferrari Luce is, without question, the most controversial Ferrari ever made. The stock crashed, the internet revolted, purists are furious. And I completely understand why this is a radical departure from everything Ferrari has ever stood for. But here is my honest take. The people screaming about this car are mostly judging it from photos. The people who actually saw it, sat in it, and drove it came away impressed. The interior is genuinely one of the best in the business. The engineering is serious. The driving experience, by all early accounts, is special. And Ferrari knows exactly what they are doing. They are not trying to win over the die-hard collectors who will hate anything electric. They are bringing in an entirely new type of buyer with a 5-seat, practical, daily usable Ferrari that still delivers 1,000 horsepower and a 2.5-second 0 to 60. Is the Luce undesirable? On paper, to the purists, maybe. But I think in 5 years, we might look back at this as the moment Ferrari proved a performance brand could survive the electric era without losing its soul. Whether this gamble pays off is going to be one of the most fascinating stories in the entire car world, and I genuinely cannot wait to see how it plays out. What do you think? Is the Luce a betrayal of everything Ferrari stands for, or a bold step into the future? Let me know in the comments. I am Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.